In our previous session, we discussed Introduction to Forecasting. Today, we are going to explore a new topic, and that is none other than importance of forecasting. Imagine you are the manager of a retail chain planning inventory for the festive season. Last year, you understocked popular items, losing potential sales. This year, you are considering using forecasting to guide your decisions in the market. What steps would you take to ensure accurate demand predictions? How might effective forecasting impact your strategy and the overall business performances? So at the end of this topic, you will be able to list out the role of forecasting. You'll also be able to outline all the benefits of forecasting in the strategies. Forecasting is essential for all types of industrial activities, as well as for the industries that primarily operates in the service sectors, such as healthcare and education. In manufacturing, accurate forecasts help businesses anticipate production needs, manage inventory levels, and optimize resource allocation. For instance, an automotive manufacturer relies on forecasting to determine the number of vehicles to produce based on projected consumer demand, thus avoiding overproduction or stockouts. Similarly, in the service sector, forecasting plays a crucial role in staffing and resource management. Healthcare facilities use forecasting to predict patient inflow, which enables them to allocate the appropriate number of healthcare professionals and resources to meet patient needs effectively. Educational institutions, on the other hand, utilize forecast to estimate student enrollment, allowing them to plan for adequate staffing, course offerings, and facility requirements. Overall, effective forecasting is vital for both the industrial and service sectors, as it provides the necessary insights to drive decision making and ensure operational efficiency. Now let's take a closer look at the various functions of forecasting. The key functions include: first, production planning; second, financial planning; third, personnel planning; fourth, scheduling planning; fifth, facilities planning; and the sixth one is process design planning. Let's understand each one of them individually. The first function we will discuss is production planning. Production planning is a critical function of forecasting that involves a comprehensive approach to managing the entire production process. This entails a careful consideration of various elements such as the availability of the raw materials, supply reliability, procurement methods, pricing for raw materials, labor requirements, and machinery utilizations. By leveraging accurate forecast, businesses can make informed decisions about how much raw materials to purchase and when, ensuring they have the necessary resources on hand to meet production demands. For example, if a manufacturer forecasts an increase in demand for a particular product, it can proactively secure the required raw material and schedule labor effectively to ramp up production. Additionally, forecasting helps identify potential issues in the supply chain, enabling companies to mitigate risks related to delays or price fluctuations. Ultimately, end-to-end planning for production driven by accurate forecasting allows organizations to optimize their operations, reduce waste, and enhance overall efficiency. Moving on, the second function is financial planning. Financial planning is a fundamental function of forecasting that involves creating a comprehensive budget for the entire production process. Accurate forecasting enables organizations to estimate the financial resources required for various aspects of the production, including raw materials, labor cost, machinery investments, and miscellaneous expenditures. For instance, if a company anticipates an increase in production due to higher demand, it must allocate sufficient budgetary resources to cover additional labor, purchase new machinery, or increase raw material supplies. By utilizing forecasting data, businesses can develop a detailed budget that outlines expected costs and allocates funds accordingly, ensuring that financial resources are available when needed. Moreover, effective financial planning driven by forecasting helps organizations manage cash flow, minimize financial risks, and optimize profitability. Ultimately, this strategic alignment between forecasting and financial planning is essential for achieving operational goals and sustaining business growth. Next, we have personnel planning. Personnel planning is a crucial function of forecasting that focuses on determining labor requirements for production processes. Accurate forecasting enables organizations to assess the number of workers needed to meet anticipated production levels. They have the right personnel in place to achieve operational efficiency. This involves categorizing the types of labor required, such as skilled, semi skilled, or unskilled workers, based on the specific demands of the production process. For instance, if a company forecasts a surge in demand for a particular product, it may need to hire additional skilled labor to maintain quality and efficiency during production. Furthermore, personnel planning includes deciding on appropriate remuneration for the workforce, which is essential for attracting and retaining qualified employees by aligning resource allocation, reduce labor cost, and ensure a motivated workforce that is equipped to meet production demands effectively. Continuing on the fourth function we will discuss is scheduling planning. Scheduling planning is an integral function of forecasting that outlines the entire production scenario, starting from the initial input of raw materials to the finalization of the goods ready for the sale to the customers. This process involves creating a detailed timeline for each stage of production, ensuring that all components are available and aligned for efficient workflow. Accurate forecasting is essential in this context as it provides insights into expected production volumes, lead times for materials, and labor availability, allowing organizations to develop a realistic and actionable schedule. For example, if a manufacturer anticipates increased demand for a product, it must forecast the time required for each production phase, such as sourcing materials, processing, and quality checks. To meet delivery deadlines, this extended forecasting not only helps in managing resources effectively but also minimizes the risk of delays, ensuring that products are completed on time and delivered to customers as promised. Ultimately, effective scheduling planning driven by accurate forecast enhances operational efficiency and improves customer satisfaction by ensuring timely availability of the products in the market. Next, we will look at the facilities planning. Facilities planning is a critical aspect of production management that begins well before the actual production process starts. It involves designing and organizing the physical layout and infrastructure necessary for manufacturing, taking into account the anticipated volume of the production and ensuring the smooth functioning of the operations. Effective facilities planning requires a thorough understanding of the production workflow, including the types of machinery needed, storage requirements for the raw materials and finished goods, and the spatial arrangement of the workstations. For instance, if a company forecasts a significant increase in the production volume, it may need to expand its facilities or redesign the layout to optimize efficiency and minimize bottlenecks. This could involve investing in additional machinery, creating designated areas for the assembly, for implementing better storage solutions for the inventory. By proactively addressing these factors, organizations can create a well structured environment that supports high productivity levels, reduces operational disruptions, and ultimately enhances overall performance in meeting customer demand. Furthermore, let's explore process design planning. The process design planning is a fundamental aspect of production and operations management that is crucial for successful manufacturing. It lays the groundwork for how products will be created, determining the sequence of operations, the technology to be used, and the overall workflow. Without effective process design, production cannot take place as it serves as blueprint for transforming raw materials into finished goods. This planning involves analyzing previous data and existing models to establish efficient processes that minimize waste and maximize productivity. For instance, a company may study past production cycles to identify bottlenecks and inefficiencies, following them to redesign their processes for improved performance. By integrating insights from historical data and the best practices, organizations can create robust process designs that not only streamline operations but also enhance quality and consistency in the final products. Ultimately, thoughtful process design planning is essential for ensuring that production runs smoothly and effectively meets market demands. Forecasting is a critical tool for organizations, enabling them to navigate the uncertainties of demand and provide workable solutions to meet production needs. By accurately predicting future requirements, businesses can optimize their operations and enhance various aspects of their functioning. The benefits of forecasting extend across multiple areas, leading to significant improvements in employee relations, material management, capital utilization, and customer service. Employee relations. Effective forecasting allows organizations to plan their workforce needs accurately, reducing the stress of sudden layoffs or overstaffing. For example, a retail company that forecasts seasonal demand can hire temporary staff during peak periods, ensuring a balanced workload and maintaining employee morale. Material management. Forecasting plays a vital role in inventory management by predicting the quantity of raw materials needed for production. For instance, a manufacturing firm can use demand forecast to order the right amount of materials, minimizing excess inventory and reducing the holding cost, which enhances the overall operational efficiency. Use of the capital and facilities. By understanding future demand through forecasting, businesses can make informed decisions about investing in capital and facilities. For example, a company anticipating increased production may invest in new machinery and expand its facilities ahead of time, thereby maximizing resource utilization and ensuring that operations can scale efficiently. Customer service. Accurate forecasting directly impacts customer satisfaction by ensuring that products are available when customers want them. For instance, an online retailer that accurately predicts demand for a new product can maintain appropriate stock levels, reducing the risk of stockouts and ensuring timely deliveries, which enhances the overall customer experience. Now, let's shift our focus to the cost implications of forecasting. This is an important consideration for businesses as implementing effective forecasting processes requires significant investment in time, resources, and expertise. Accurate forecasting often involves gathering expensive data, employing sophisticated analytical tools, and engaging experts in the field, all of which can contribute to substantial cost for companies. As the level of effort and resources dedicated to forecasting increases, so does the associated cost. However, these investments can lead to improved accuracy and better judgment, which ultimately reduce potential losses caused by uncertainty in demand. For instance, a company that invests in advanced forecasting software and hires skilled analysts may incur higher upfront cost, but the resulting accurate predictions can prevent overproduction, stockouts, and missed sales opportunities. Therefore, while the effort put into forecasting directly correlates with its cost, the long term benefits of the enhanced decision making and reduced risks often justify these expenses, leading to overall cost savings in the production and operational processes. Continuing with the cost implications of the forecasting, it's essential to recognize that while increasing forecasting efforts can lead to improved accuracy, there comes a point where the additional cost may not yield proportionate benefits. Companies must determine an optimal level of effort that balances the cost of forecasting with acceptable levels of uncertainty. At this threshold, organizations can prepare for potential losses that may arise from inaccuracies in demand predictions. However, it's crucial to understand that no matter how rigorous the forecasting process, forecast will always be influenced by market dynamics and various unpredictable factors. For instance, sudden shifts in consumer behavior, economic changes, or unforeseen events like natural disasters can dramatically impact demand, rendering even the most meticulously prepared forecast less reliable. Therefore, businesses must be strategic about their forecasting investments, ensuring that they allocate resources wisely while maintaining readiness for inherent uncertainties in the marketplace. This approach allows organizations to mitigate risks without incurring unnecessary costs associated with striving for unattainable forecasting precision. Decision making using forecasting is inherently complex due to the uncertainties that arise from an ever changing environment. While organizations strive to improve forecast accuracy, it's important to recognize that these efforts often lead to increased cost without guaranteeing more precise predictions. To navigate this challenge, managerial decisions makers adopt a practical rule, which is actual decision is equals to decision assuming forecasting is correct plus allowance for forecast error. This equation encapsulates the essence of informed decision making in the face of uncertainty. The first component represents the decision made based on the assumption that the forecasts are accurate, serving as a starting point for planning and resource allocation. The second component, the allowance for the forecast error, is a critical adjustment that accounts for the potential discrepancies between predicted and actual outcomes. For example, consider a retail company forecasting a demand of 10,000 units for a new product launch. The management might plan to produce that amount based on the forecast. However, to prepare for any potential errors, they include an allowance for forecast error, say 15%, which means they will also be ready to accommodate an unexpected demand saving. This could lead them to adjust their production target to 11,500 units, which is 10,000 plus 1,500, to mitigate the risk of stockouts or overproduction. By incorporating this allowance, the company can make more resilient decisions that better position them to handle fluctuations in demand while managing cost effectively. This approach ultimately helps organizations balance the desire for accuracy with the realities of uncertainty, fostering more robust decision-making process. In continuation, decision making using forecasting is inherently challenging due to the uncertainties that arise from a constantly changing environment. Forecasts are subject to variability, and while efforts to enhance their accuracy may incur additional cost, these improvements do not necessarily lead to better predictions. Therefore, it's crucial for forecasts to include two key components that account for this uncertainty and provide a buffer for potential errors. They are: number one, best estimate of demand. This represents the forecasted quantity based on historical data and analysis, providing a baseline for planning purposes. Second is error. This reflects the difference between the actual demand and the forecasted demand, which can be calculated once the actual demand is known. The formula for the calculating forecast error is forecast error is equals to actual demand and forecast demand. For instance, imagine a bakery forecasting a demand of 1,000 loaves of bread for a particular day. After the day concludes, they find that the actual demand was 1,200 loaves. The forecast error can be calculated as follows. Forecast error is equals to actual demand, which is 1,200, minus forecast demand, which is 1,000, is equals to 200. This error indicates that the bakery underestimated demand by 200 loaves, prompting them to analyze why the forecast was inaccurate and make adjustments for the future forecast. By incorporating both the best estimate of demand and the error into their decision-making process, businesses can better prepare for potential fluctuations and improve their overall forecasting strategy. This systematic approach helps organizations manage uncertainty more effectively, allowing them to adapt to changes and optimize their operations. In this session, we have learnt about benefits of forecasting. We have learnt about cost implications of forecasting. We have also learnt about decision making using forecasting. That's all for today. Thank you. Happy learning.